Good afternoon and welcome to ZTN News Blitz. Let's take a look at our top stories. Is Zimbabwe about to turn the corner as Zim leader hints on further relaxing COVID-19 restrictions? Is Jacob Mafume Harare's shortest serving mayor? We will give you more. Schools opening in danger over salary talks deadlock. And in sport, Zim awarded Afrobasket wildcard. Will the newly elected Harare Mayor, Jacob Mafume, remain at the helm of Zimbabwe's capital any longer? Well, if today's events are anything to go by, then it seems unlikely. The Progressive Democratic Party has recalled him. The party argues that the mayor, who has only been in office for 15 days, occupies Harare's top office on the basis of his PDP membership. However, Mafume described the recall as a fraud.
An imposter, that person. Have you ever even heard of that person, don't respond to fraudsters, imposters, and people who just wake up and write letters from nowhere?
PDP Secretary General Benjamin Rukanda stuck to his guns.
No longer serving the interests of our party, and they are no longer members of our party. They can't represent us as PDP anymore.
Zimbabwe's President Emmerson Nangagwa says his government will next week further relax COVID-19 regulations. This comes as fewer new infections are being reported. The country has 7,633 confirmed COVID-19 cases with 224 deaths. President Emmerson Nangagwa told the ruling ZANU-PF Party's Central Committee meeting earlier today that lockdown regulations will be reviewed.
Anoraramira upenyu hwoumwe mumwe noumwe anofa pachake kana kurarama pachake. Isu ndima yedu yokuudza vanhu kuti kune chirwere ichi taifambisa, taisunda ndima iyoyo. Kwatava kuenda uku tichionazve kuti vazhinji vakunzwisisa takupfudzunura zvishoma nezvishoma. Changa chipudzura zvimwe zvondonouyai. Saka ndatinyase kutsanangura apa kuitira kuti tese tive nerimwe kana totaura.
He also spoke on relations between ZANU-PF and South Africa's ruling ANC party following reports of a fallout between the two.
The solidarity existing between our parties and PF and the sister revolutionary parties like the ANC of South Africa can never be shaken by social media. We have elements peddling falsehoods, but there is misunderstanding between ANC and ZANU-PF. Hakuna. I can assure you, almost on a weekly basis, currently almost on every other day, I discuss with my brother Ramaphosa, I discuss with my brother Masisi, with the Genkop. Before we sleep, we chat, and they laugh at these social media insinuations. So they are wasting their time.
The reopening of schools in Zimbabwe is in danger as salary negotiations between government and civil servants continue. The two parties are yet to find common ground after two meetings inside 1 week. Government offered a 40% increment, which would have seen the lowest paid civil servant earning almost $5,000 Zimbabwean dollars. But civil servants are demanding $480 or the equivalent. Schools are set to open on September 28. Civil Service Apex Council spokesperson David Zatsunga said yesterday's meeting, which lasted 4 hours, was inconclusive.
The meeting simply broke down. Effectively broke down in terms of the social dialogue matrix. So in this case, we don't even know what will happen hereafter. Government is not even commit to consult and come back to us. I believe that with the schools coming on board, it might be an opportunity for government to realize that the situation is dire.
Zimbabwe Teachers Association Chief Executive Dr. Sifiso Ndlovu says reopening is in danger.
We were giving a cautionary statement yesterday to alert the employer that the ground is swelling with anger because they were full of expectations as we went into the negotiating table. But those expectations have been dashed. And that means that now they may throw caution to the wind. And by next week, Tuesday, we should be offering our last statement, which will be indicating what our members have directed us to say.
Progressive Teachers Union of Zimbabwe Secretary General Raymond Majongwe took aim at the Apex Council.
The current Apex Council term long expired, but they are still talking to them, which means it's a legal nullity. Even if they're going to agree with them on anything, it's a legal nullity because they're not supposed to be there in the first place. So how do you negotiate for a collective bargaining agreement when all of you are arguing for different things? The nurses and the doctors went away and demanded their own health board, and they got it. This is why it appears that these nurses and doctors are making some headway.
ZTN is still waiting for a comment from Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare Minister Professor Paul Mavima. Moving on, a Zimbabwe Republic Police officer has been remanded in prison for raping a woman that he arrested for violating COVID-19 lockdown regulations. Constable Freddie Mwale of Police Support Unit was remanded in custody to 30 September. National Police spokesperson Assistant Commissioner Paul Nyati confirmed the arrest. On 13 September, Constable Mwale was off duty but allegedly arrested the woman and her boyfriend. The boyfriend escaped, leaving the woman with Mwale, who then allegedly demanded to be intimate with her. He threatened to have her imprisoned if she refused. The woman complied and later made a police report, leading to Mwale's arrest. It's all smiles for Zim imbibers in Zimbabwe. They're ecstatic that after 6 months of involuntary fasting, they can now finally quench their thirst. Authorities allowed liquor retail outlets to reopen, albeit under strict conditions. But they are happy all the same. Our correspondent Kimberly Jiro gives us more.
1 Timothy 5 verse 23 says, "No longer drink only water, but use a little wine for the sake of your stomach and your frequent ailments." Well, after a 6-month hiatus, revelers can now visit chill spots across Zimbabwe and partake of their favorite beverage. Government on Monday further relaxed COVID-19 guidelines as the economy slowly reopens. Business had been halted as Zimbabwe, like many other nations, battled the deadly pandemic. Latest statistics also show cases of domestic violence were on the rise. Perhaps couples can now get the much-needed break from each other.
Isukufara nekuwedzerwa kwakaitwa time pa lockdown kuti takwanisawo kupindawo mabhawa tichimwa kusvika na6. Zvinhu zvatiri kufarira, zvinhu zvatakaachiva kuti zvinhu zvakanaka, but taikumbira kuti time vakatiwedzerei vombobvisawo mapurisa murodhi.
Tiri kunyanya kufara nemavhuriro akaitwa mabhawa ndakumbawo kuchai kuti tinatsogara zvakanaka zvasingachaiti. Pakasesu isi zvitakwa tajaira kugara tichimwa, tasina mufaro. Asi zvakaitika izvi hatiri kufara. Nokuti dei mabhawa asina kuvhurwa kana dzimba dzaigona kuparara.
Akavhurwa mana ma8 ovhara kana zvekuma 10:10. Urechi tikabvawo basa tongosvika tombomwawo. Tikamwawo tose tendawo kumba tonorara but zvavaita taingowedzeswa wana ma8 kana 10.
Tikutozvifarirawo bhosi kumba tatakuvara nekugara kumba. Mudzimba chaimo chaimo munoshungurudza kugara. Zvakawanda zvinoitika mudzimba kunetsana nevakadzi plus kunoida kuti vanhu mupote muchitsvaka kuti muwane zvokuraramisa mhuri. Kuti zvitozvifarirawo mukutora pato 100 ndikutorowawo.
Confederation of Zimbabwe Retailers President Denford Mtashu is a happy man too.
We are talking about more than 16,000 alcoholic beverage outlets that had been shut down since March when the lockdown started. But of course, it was a requirement to restrict the spread of COVID-19. And indeed, the majority of them have actually been struggling. And the government has actually been quite responsive even during the preceding lockdowns.
In other news, Employees of a South African racecourse freed 28 horses from the stables during a protest that left one horse dead and several injured. The cause of the protest is yet to be known. A police report states the protesters forced the horses out of their stables with sticks and stones. One of the horses was found dead with stab wounds. The injured horses are being treated at the Port Elizabeth Anti-Animal Cruelty. The police service shared photos of the operation to stabilize the horses. Crossing over to sports news, where the Zimbabwe senior men's basketball team have been given a second chance to try and qualify for the 2021 FIBA AfroBasket. The team will join Cape Verde, Chad and South Sudan in the FIBA 2021 AfroBasket pre-qualifiers. Cameroon will be hosts from October 23 to 25, and the winners will join Morocco, Egypt and Uganda in Group E. Only the top 3 teams in each group will qualify for the 30th edition of the competition. And finally, US Open champion Naomi Osaka has pulled out of the French Open, scheduled to start on 27 September. This is after the Japanese player won his second US Open on Saturday. She believes the US Open and French Open are scheduled too close. She said in a statement, "I won't be able to play at the French Open. My hamstring is still sore, so I won't have enough time to prepare for the clay." The 22-year-old had her left hamstring wrapped in tape when she won the final at Flushing Meadows. That's all for this afternoon. Thank you for watching.